While the Ukraine-Russia conflict rages on, a pretty complex situation is brewing between the US and China, which has massive implications for the whole world. The US has fired a powerful salvo at China, albeit through non-military means. According to officials in the Biden administration, the United States has officially banned federally backed tech corporations from building advanced technology facilities in China for a period of 10 years. The rules are part of a $50 billion program to expand the United States' semiconductor manufacturing capacity. It comes at a time when U.S. industry groups have been pushing for more government aid to reduce their dependence on China. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how the U.S. will get the upper hand on China without firing a shot. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by the free-to-play military vehicle combat game War Thunder. We talk a lot about military vehicles on this channel, but what about trying them out for yourself? In War Thunder, you can choose from more than 1,200 playable vehicles from the 1930s to the 1990s and go to battle on more than 80 theaters of war. You can fly aircraft, helicopters, drive tanks, and command ships of all types and sizes, which have been carefully recreated from their real-world counterparts. It's available as a free download on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. So grab your friends and give it a try. All viewers of Defense Updates that register using the link in the description below will also get a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship and 3 days of premium account time as a bonus. Reports indicate that manufacturing in the nation has been halted due to a worldwide semiconductor shortage. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo has said that the U.S. is at a pivotal moment to foster the next wave of American innovation, protect national security, and stay globally competitive. According to a press release, she explained how the U.S. CHIPS and Science Act works with an example. We will also be enforcing the safeguards to make sure no one using CHIPS money will ever do anything to jeopardize national security. Because they are restricted from investing in China, they're unable to create cutting-edge technologies there or export cutting-edge know-how and vice versa. This announcement is the most recent chapter in a long-running technical battle between Washington and Beijing, in which American companies have been pressing for further government backing in an effort to lessen their dependence on components made in Chinese factories. It was earlier disclosed by U.S. chipmaker Nvidia that the U.S. Department of Commerce had told it to halt exports of some of its artificial intelligence (AI) technology to China due to the risk of the products being used by or diverted to a military end user. Now it's been banned from constructing any new technology factories at all. In order to lessen reliance on Chinese innovation, the U.S. Congress passed the CHIPS and Science Act, CHIPS, in August. This law offers $52 billion in incentives for local semiconductor manufacturers and associated R&D initiatives. By 2023, chip manufacturers will be eligible for a 25% investment tax credit, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce. The goal of these resources is to assist businesses in undertaking initiatives of the greatest possible scope. With our help, businesses will be able to take more risks and expand, as Raimondo put it. She said, "We're going to negotiate these arrangements one at a time," noting that organizations getting government funding would have to explain to us the money is really essential to make these investments. It's well known that manufacturing in China exposes the companies to a high risk of theft of intellectual property. This can lead to a situation where soon after operational launch, they face competition from a Chinese company producing, for all intents and purposes, the exact same product they themselves are manufacturing. These same Chinese companies frequently have military ownership participation. As fears of China gaining a technological advantage over the United States gained momentum, President Biden signed a package allocating $280 billion to high-tech industry and scientific research in early August. The BBC noted that since 1990, the United States has cut its output of semiconductors, which are used in everything from computers to cell phones, from more than 40% of the world's supply to roughly 10%. According to Raimondo, CHIPS money isn't designed to sub in for private capital and can't be used for stock buybacks either. Ford, Jaguar, Land Rover, Volkswagen, General Motors, Nissan, Daimler, BMW, Renault, and Toyota, among others, have been affected by the semiconductor shortage and have had to close factories, reduce production, or leave out high-end features like integrated satellite navigation systems as a direct result of the CHIPS Act. According to Raimondo, the new regulations mean that CHIPS money may only be used by enterprises to develop existing mature node facilities in China to supply the Chinese market. China's embassy in Washington has spoken out against the semiconductor bill, calling it a throwback to the Cold War mindset. Raimondo issued a warning earlier this year that the worldwide chip problem will likely last until at least 2023. American semiconductor producers are already feeling the effect of the trade limitations imposed by the United States government on the transfer of U.S. technology to China. On September 2nd, U.S. authorities requested that AI chip makers like Nvidia and AMD cease exports to China. These restrictions are a gut blow for Nvidia, said Dan Ives, managing director of Wedbush Securities. This, he told the BBC, is truly a shot across the bow at China, and it will really feed those fires in terms of geopolitical tensions. Viewers may note that the move comes as tensions rise between the U.S. and China over Taiwan, a key supplier of components to the semiconductor industry. While U.S. corporations will have some pain in the short term when it comes to long-term strategic goals, the U.S. as a country needs to take these measures. It's to be noted that the U.S. and China are virtually in a war, and in war, the military alone doesn't fight, but the whole nation needs to put up a joint effort. The idea here is to cripple the Chinese economy, which will impact its military budget, and also reduce access to AI tech, which has military use.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.